Hey guys, today I want to talk about some basic CB radios. If you're just looking to experiment with the hobby and you don't want to spend a lot of money, there's some great options out there for inexpensive radios. I have seen these kind of radios at yard sales and flea markets for $10 or less. And they're pretty good radios, I mean, especially for what you end up paying for them. We'll start with the Radio Shack. The Radio Shack, this is one of their newest radios. This is a TRC 464. It's just a basic 40-channel AM radio. It has volume and squelch. It has a transmit indicator, a receive indicator, and the channel display. The channel knob, it does not spin around. It kind of like spring-loaded. So you just push it over and hold it to the right to go up on channel, and turn it to the left to go down on channel, and it just like springs right back to that center position. This one I'm calling the man's radio because see the size of that microphone? And then let's look at the Maxim. Look, it's the same design, but look at it. It's like made for a woman's hand. It's made for small hands. So we're going to call the Radio Shack the man's radio, and the Maxim, that's for either kids or women, because that's just a tiny little mic. Look at that. It's like lost in my hand. With the Radio Shack, look, that's a normal microphone. That feels good in my hand. All right, let's talk about the Maxim now. It's the same thing. Volume and squelch. This one does not have a receive indicator, but it does have a transmit indicator in the center there, and it also has the digital display. Channel up and down on this one, instead of being the knob like the Radio Shack, this one has up and down buttons on it. Same thing though. I mean, one you press, one you turn. But it's the same thing. Press the buttons and up you go. Alright, let's power these things up and I'll show you all the features. They're loaded, aren't they? Actually, before we show features, let me show the back sides. Unlike the higher end radios, they have a removable power cord. These do not. And this one here, if you come across an orange wire, that's for the memory. That's so that when you shut the radio off and then turn it back on again, it will be on the same channel you left it on. That requires constant power in order to work, where this one is a switched power. So this one goes to a power source that shuts off when you shut your car off. And on the back, we have the jack for the external speaker, the antenna, and the radio info. Now the Maxim, the girls' radio, this one does not have the memory wire on it. So this one, when you shut it off and turn it back on, it will always go to channel 9 every single time. We have the antenna jack, and we have the external speaker, and again, all the info tag. Alright, now let me power one of these up. And like I just showed you with those power cords, that mic is about to fall off the desk. Because of those power cords, I just have my homemade, from a computer plug. This is like my universal plug. This will fit in any radio, and I just slip the wires right into it. So we're going to go positive to positive, red to red. Slide that in there. Get the jacket in a little bit so the wire doesn't just pull right out. And I left that radio on. Alright, we have power to that one. Let me grab my antenna. And my buddy Dallas sent me this cool little adapter. Look at that. It's so you can screw your coax onto it, but then just slip the coax onto the radio that you're working with. In this case, just testing it out. So we can just slip it right on there. And the antenna is connected. Alright, so like I told you, when you turn it on, it's right on channel 9. And I'm pretty sure if you shut it off and then turn it back on again, oh no, as long as it still has power, it'll maintain where it was. It's not picking anything up though. Wow, not even on channel 6. Isn't that strange? The squelch, it's got an automatic squelch. So if the squelch is all the way down, it will automatically squelch it out. One thing I do not like about these basic radios, there's no signal meter. There's no meter to tell you the strength of that signal coming in. But like I told you, channel up, down button. We're going to use channel 34 for our testing today. Alright, let's shut this one off, and I'll power up the Radio Shack. Now I'm just testing out. I'm not setting up permanently, so I'm not going to bother with the memory wire. I'm just going to hook up the power lines. Because we don't care if it goes back to channel 9, because we're not doing a permanent install here. I left that one on too. Alright, the Radio Shack radio is now powered up. And let me try and do this with my hand is in the way as little as possible. We'll go down to our test channel. And this one is kind of cool because it's got backlighting. Yeah, you can see that. It's got green backlighting around the knobs. And it has a receive indicator. And it has a... Does that change when we change the channel? No. It all stays green. And when we key up the microphone on this one, you see the transmit light turns red, receive light goes out, and the transmit light comes on. There's not many features to go over on these radios. It's volume and squelch. This skip coming in today, but it's mostly from Mexico and Arizona. The thing is so tiny, my hand completely covers it. Look, it's gone! Let's go back to our test channel. Go back to 34. Let's do a on-air test on these things. Alright, let's do a transmit test. Yeah, I had a piece of tape on there to hold the microphone in place because it kept sliding off. Alright, let's do a transmit test. First, we'll do the Radio Shack. I have a camera on my Washington down in my garage. I have the RF gain turned down about halfway. Let's broadcast on the Radio Shack. This is a Radio Shack TRC 464. Just checking it out and seeing how the audio is. As you can see on this one, we have a red transmit light. All right, we're going to listen to that recording now and see how this one sounds on the air. All right, let me hook up the Maxim, and we'll do a test of that one too.
This is a Radio Shack TRC 464. Just checking it out and seeing how the audio is. As you can see on this one, we have a red transmit light. All right, we're going to listen to that recording now and see how this one sounds on the air.
Maxim is hooked up now. We're going to call that an MCB30. That Maxim name just sounds weird. Alright, well, I know I just said that, but as you can see, we have a red transmit light on that. And, oh, and I'm sliding the radio around. That's alright, I put it in a better view for you. This is a Maxim MCB-30. Just a basic 40-channel AM radio. Doing a broadcast test. See how this thing sounds on the air. Alright, let's have a look and see what that one sounded like on the air.
Alright, well, I know I just said that, but as you can see, we have a red transmit light on that. And, oh, and I'm sliding the radio around. That's alright, I put it in a better view for you. This is a Maxim MCB-30. Just a basic 40-channel AM radio. Doing a broadcast test. See how this thing sounds on the air.
Well, they both work. They both did about the same signal. They both sounded a little bit muffled to me. That's probably just because of those the microphones that come with them. And again, these are they're cheap radios. You get what you pay for. You can understand what I was saying. For the price of these radios, it wasn't bad. I mean, I looked these up on eBay, and check it out. The Maxim on the left, it was one that sold complete with an antenna for $9 on eBay. The Realistic, look at that one. There was one that sold in working condition for $1. Like I said, if you're interested in the hobby, but you don't want to spend a lot of money until you're sure you're going to like the hobby, something like these, they're a good start. All right, guys, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.